Trash talk is a natural part of any competitive environment. It creates tension, increases the stakes, puts your pride on the line, and in general, just makes a match even more spicy. Not everyone engages in it, but it's a natural part of competition, and if used correctly, can help you gain a mental edge over your opponents. Even outside of these games, some of the best competitors of all time are notorious trash talkers. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, and Muhammad Ali all use trash talk to their advantage. Skill is an important part of Dota and League, but arguably more important is the mental and psychological aspect of these games. So let's talk trash talk and how it differs in Dota and League. Before we get into the video, let's talk about the do's and don'ts of trash talking. Number 1, don't trash talk your teammates. Look, I know we've all done it before, and I'm personally guilty of this as well, but trash talking your teammates doesn't accomplish anything, which is why I mute my teammates. This is not because they're toxic, but because if I do get frustrated at them and type some of the most unholy words that have ever been combined together in a sentence, they won't be able to see it. Getting frustrated at your teammates is a part of any competitive team environment, even in real life. Just look at Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, and the rest of the Golden State Warriors and Draymond Green. But the difference is that these guys have to learn to put up with each other because it's their job, but you only have to put up with that one bum teammate for 30-ish minutes or so. But even then, calling attention to a teammate that is underperforming doesn't put you any closer to blowing up the enemy base. If your teammate is dying a lot, instead of thinking that he's making mistakes and he's feeding, reframe it as your opponent's trying to single him out and make it your mission to avenge his many deaths. You'd probably win a lot more games that way, and even if you don't, you'd at least stop getting tilted over things outside of your control. And number 2, keep it in the game. In 2024, the nasty stuff that we used to type in these games just would not fly anymore. For old school players like me, it's a completely different world now. There's a lot of things that you could have said 10 years ago when these games were still shiny and new-ish that just won't fly anymore. And we're also adults now. Being a snot-nosed 15-year-old and saying toxic stuff in an online game, that's normal, but doing the same at age 25, not a good look, buddy. This isn't because people are soft, but because there are actual repercussions for being toxic in chat compared to when these games were first released. In Dota, you may get a lower communication score, which can actually harm your ability to play the game by disallowing you to use certain communication tools, like voice chat and pinging your teammates' basic abilities. In League, they can't take away your voice chat nor ability to ping teammate cooldowns because those features aren't in the game. Instead, you can get straight up banned, which is pretty bad if you spent money on your League account. By keep it in the game, I mean it's okay to trash talk their play, their mistakes, in-game name, choice of hero or champion, question their rank, or telling them to uninstall. All of that, I think it's fine. It's not okay to demand someone's personal information, make death threats, blatant racism, or tell someone to kill themselves. Remember, at the end of the day, these are video games, and the only real loser would be you for getting so worked up over one underperforming teammate costing you your precious internet points. The only time it's ever okay for you to tell someone to off themselves is if your name is Freerin. And that's how you differentiate trash talk and banter from toxic flaming. Now, let's get into why we trash talk. As I mentioned previously, trash talk is just fun. It's fun to step on other people's egos and not have any real repercussions. It lets you blow off some steam and lets you playfully piss someone off. But trash talking has a psychological aspect. By pushing the right buttons, you may be able to effectively get your opponent to tilt, causing them to make unoptimal gameplay decisions based off of their emotions. They may get overly aggressive and attempt to kill you, or they may question their own abilities and make sloppy mistakes. With trash talk, you're able to get into your opponent's head, and with the current housing crisis, you should take all the rent-free living you can get. Now, trash talk doesn't always have to be typing in all chat. There are different styles to it. Things as simple as sending a question mark or a smiley face in all chat after a kill can sometimes deal as much mental damage, if not more damage, than typing out an elaborate essay in chat. Not only is it disrespectful to hit an enemy with a question mark after getting a hard-earned kill, it also sends a message that they're not worth the effort it takes to type something out. This kind of subtle disrespect also transcends language barriers, which is what makes it great for those of us who don't play in primarily English-speaking servers. Both Dota and League also have their own unique ways of allowing you to disrespect your opponents. While both games are admittedly behind the times in this area, since I still can't hit the gritty when I beat my opposing top laner, Riot and Valve still give us a few unique ways to BM. In League, every champion has access to 4 unique taunts: a joke, a taunt, a dance, and a laugh. These are special animations with unique sound effects. While most of the time, people ignore these for the entirety of the game besides waiting for minions to spawn, spamming the laugh in particular, especially when the opponent misses a skill shot, can be an effective tactic to get into your opponent's head. Special mention goes to Lulu for having the most annoying, high-pitched laugh in the whole damn game. If Shaco didn't exist in League, I'd ban her every game just for that. My favorite taunt is an unofficial one. In League, you can start a back anywhere, anytime, without a cooldown. So what I like to do sometimes is to start the back animation right before killing someone to add just a bit of extra style. Now Dota takes these taunts a step further. While Dota's taunts are also animations with silly sound effects, the big difference is that most of them were designed with moving in mind. That means you can hit the taunt button for the animation during regular gameplay and it won't disrupt your commands, unlike in League. That means you can seamlessly taunt during regular gameplay as much as the game allows you to. There are some really annoying taunts in Dota. Lion's Boogie is one of my personal favorites, as well as Leshrak's Disco Pony Dance, but I think the most well known is the classic Admiral Bulldog Money Dance for Nature's Prophet. However, the sad thing about Dota's taunts is that not every hero gets one, and almost all of them are or were locked behind a paywall. That's right, if you wanted to do the Dota equivalent of recording TikToks over your opponent's corpse, you're gonna have to fork over some serious cash. Which brings me to Dota Plus, which is Valve's in-game monthly subscription service that gives you a bunch of extra features for Dota. By spending a few extra dollars every month, you gain all kinds of quality of life stuff, with the main draw being Dota's mastery system, which is admittedly an annoying thing to lock behind a paywall. Now in League, when you gain mastery level with a champion, you get to use a mastery emote showing off how much time you've dedicated to your in-game husbando or waifu. It's a nice flex, and it can be spammed while moving, and damn does it get annoying. Like, yes, I get it, you're Yasuo spammer number 63,279, you're not that special, but that's really about it for Champion Mastery in League. We'll have to wait and see how Riot plans to change that later on, since it is in their sights. That's not the only emote that people spam though. There are quite a few tilting emotes that players can buy in the in-game store, such as Jinx's Laugh, Zed Laugh, and my personal favorite, the Ram is okay. But in Dota, you actually have a reason to increase your hero mastery all the way up to level 30. Hero voice lines. Not only do you get a cool badge next to your hero when you pick a hero that you've mastered, you also unlock one of their voice lines which audibly plays in all chat when used. These are unlockable audio clips from the heroes themselves, and some of them can get really annoying when you hear them over and over during the course of a match. Some of the most disrespectful ones I've heard include Anti-Mage,
Are you even trying?
Slark,
I can't hear you.
and Enchantress.
You did your best.
Believe me, there are a lot of tilting ones, but these are some of my personal picks. Dota players, feel free to share your favorite voice lines in the comments. But voice lines don't end there. Valve also gave players the option to buy all kinds of voice lines, such as audio clips from famous pro matches, team voice lines created by pro teams themselves, and audio clips provided by Dota's casting talent as well. And the thing is, that isn't even Dota's best mechanic if your goal is to BM someone. There's also tipping. Through this mechanic, you can give someone a bit of Dota's in-game currency during the game. While many people use this to hype teammates up after they make a good play, when tipping an enemy, it is a declaration of war. The Dota community has collectively agreed upon tipping an opponent to mean something along the lines of, "Thanks for the easy kill, here's a little something from me." If there's a single for fun mechanic that I wish League could adapt from Dota, it would be tipping. Not only because it would give us a new way to BM, but also because it would give me something to do with all my extra blue essence. Just imagine killing a Yone and then tipping them, effectively saying, "Here's some extra blue essence, take these and go buy a champ you can actually play." Watch them misplay, that's a tip. They messed up their 1v1, tip. No reason at all but just trying to mess with them? Sure, why not? You get 3 of them a game and 10 of them a week, so you might as well use them. Dota also has a few other ways of BMing, such as whistling at an enemy for a high five before killing them, predicting that they'll win the match before the horn starts, but it's not really BM as much as it is believing that you have drafted the opponent, sprays which are admittedly underused compared to the likes of Valorant, and pausing, which you can do in Dota, but it's just kind of a dick move to do sometimes because it can throw off your own teammate's tempo. But perhaps the most creative way of BMing someone in Dota is to drop a Mantle of Intelligence, an item that increases a player's intelligence stat in the enemy fountain at the end of a game. And of course, you can't talk about tipping in voice lines without mentioning the team that lakat maratag themselves all the way to carry the Aegis, TI8 and TI9 OG, who were known for using voice lines to get into heads of their opponents, tilting them and winning off of the mental advantage, backed up by stellar drafting and performances from everyone on their team. And they did this twice in a row, the only team in Dota history to ever win TI in back-to-back years. An interesting difference between Dota and League in terms of trash talking is the fact that League has an FF function in solo queue. Little known fact, Dota actually does have a surrender option, but it's only available for 5 stacks and at 30 minutes onward. League's FF function in comparison is fairly straightforward. At 15 minutes, you can call for an early surrender, which has to be unanimous. Then at 20 minutes onward, you need a 4-1 vote or 3-2 if you're playing quick play. Now, this creates a very interesting strategy. Targeting. This is usually done by the jungler where they mark someone for death on the enemy team and camp the living hell out of them. And in League, a horrible early game can rarely be overcome if the enemy plays perfectly, usually causing the target to tilt out of their minds, spamming FFs, bringing his team's morale down, and eventually causing their mental to crumble and give in to the votes. Combine this with trash talks and emote spam and it is a nasty way to play the game. Chances are his teammates will be blaming him for every single death, pinging him missing, and should their nexus fall, you already know who's gonna be the one getting all the reports. And it is so much fun. To me, this is interesting because it means that winning the mental game, or at the very least destroying your opponent's mental, gives you a tangible way to win in League, and that's pretty cool if you're the one that's ahead. Remember, when you indulge in trash talk and banter, you must always be aware of the law of FAFO, aka fuck around and find out, which states that eventually you'll find someone who thrives off of negativity, effectively giving them a mental buff when they're being disrespected. While this is a rare occurrence, they definitely do exist, with the most famous example being Michael Jordan, who would purposefully misinterpret his opponent's comments to stoke the flames of the beast within. Trash talk is only fun when you're dealing it, but it's humiliating when you're the one who talks shit, then get hit. Just look at Jensen, who made the mistake of trash talking League's GOAT and then proceeding to never win against him in an official match for the entirety of his career. We're still waiting, buddy. Trash talking is give and take. If you're gonna dish it out, you better be able to hear it too, which is why a lot of people don't engage in it most of the time, and that's completely fine. In fact, I don't instigate trash talk, but I do have a checklist for when I will. In Dota, I only trash talk if someone else instigates. For example, if they start tipping me for no reason, or if they want to talk smack in all chat. And this doesn't have to be me. If someone trash talks my teammate, you best bet I'm gonna have my boys back. In League, I primarily play with everyone muted because I play jungle secondary, which thanks to Riot's queuing system, I play jungler every other game even if it's not my primary role, so I don't normally engage in trash talk. However, it's a completely different story when I play top lane. If the enemy flashes their mastery even once, yeah, I'm gonna go ham. They pick Yasuo or Yone, you best bet I'm gonna play my heart out, especially if they have one of those try-hard skins. They pick Quinn, Vayne, or God forbid Kalista top, I'm building full lethality on Garrett and punishing their very existence as squishies. As fun as they are, Dota and League are just games when it's all said and done. Whether you engage in trash talking or not is entirely up to you, but if you choose to do so, remember to do so responsibly. You never know what anyone's going through when they're playing these video games, and you don't want to be seen as some coward that says the nastiest shit when you're hiding behind a computer screen. Don't make it personal, don't take it personal, and remember, it's all in good fun. Do you indulge in trash talking, or do you prefer to play your own game? Let me know in the comments below, as well as your favorite trash talking enemy stories or trash talking tips that you want to share with other viewers. If you like this video, please let me know through the comments and by dropping a like and subscribing if you haven't already. The channel's been growing quite a bit, and I'm going to be releasing a video soon talking about a topic that's quite personal to me, why I don't play ranked. And that's all for now, ace out.